Today on Scoopman 5000, we look at the crossover between Marvel Legends and Magic the Gathering. Not only are we looking at the Spider-Man and Agent anti-venom figures, but we're also going to crack a booster card pack from Magic the Gathering, and hopefully we'll be able to pay for our figures with this. And I'm kidding about the Magic cards, but that's really my only experience. I used to have friends that opened up Magic cards and they'd pull these rare cards worth $20, $50, $200. But we're going to open this later. Stay tuned for that. For now, we got the figures. And these are the two that I was mainly interested in. Now, Agent Anti-Venom, I don't know a whole lot about, but it's in the family, right? And the Battle Damaged Spider-Man is something that, despite however many Spider-Mans we have, is something a little new, a little exciting. So without further ado, let's go ahead, flip it around, and we'll take a look at Spidey and Agent Anti-Venom. And we're going to kick things off with Agent Anti-Venom. And we'll briefly go over the packaging, because I really like it here. Some great artwork on the back. Here's the other figures you can get. Haven't picked up Man-Wolf or Iron Spider, Mary Jane. Probably won't. But I love the presentation. It looks like a nice box set. But even though I don't know much about Magic, I think it's a good thing for both communities that this crossover exists, right? Perhaps as a gateway into either fandom. You gotta be careful not to bend the card, which is easier said than done. There we go. And before we get to Agent Anti-Venom, let's take a look at the trading card, shall we? And I'm not a trading card guy per se, but I can appreciate a nice good looking trading card, especially with that hollow foil going on. And I definitely appreciate the artwork here. We got Anti-Venom, the Horrifying Healer. 5 stars up here. Legendary creature, symbiote hero. And this explains sort of his moves or his stipulations in the Magic game. As for the figure, he is included with 2 trigger hands we'll get to in a sec. He's got 2 fists, 2 splayed out hands. He's got this whole symbiote tendril coming out to hold all of these weapons. So you got all kinds of pistols here with different variations that have silencers, scopes, extendo mags. And then you also have some bright green effects, and those pistols are blue. So very colorful, far from realistic weaponry here, at least in terms of the coloring. And I'd have to imagine this is where the Magic the Gathering element comes in. Maybe in the game, Anti-Venom conjures these weapons and they're more like constructs or something. I think this tendril came with the original Anti-Venom, the Walgreens one from like 2015. And I thought I picked up the modern one that just came out, but I guess not. So this is my only Anti-Venom Marvel Legends. And, you know, it's a character I'm not terribly familiar with, as I said in the beginning, but it is in the family, the symbiotes, the Spider-Verse, if you will. And I think it's cool, right? Especially in this form. I think the regular symbiote goes back to Eddie Brock, so we can have Venom. But this cool character, Flash Thompson, Anti-Venom, if you're a fan of him, he still lives on in this white color scheme. So maybe I like this better, actually, because I can put him next to an Eddie Brock, and it's not like 2 guys wearing the same symbiote, right? But really great sculpted details here on this figure. And perhaps they stick out a bit more on the white version. Specifically, I'm talking about these spikes all over his shoulder armor, his gauntlets, and his boots. Almost medieval looking on this very tactical figure otherwise. He does have this kind of rib. I was going to say print, but it looks like it's actually textured in. Biceps, and then on the side of his pants here. But definitely spared no expense here, right? The belt has 2 different colors to it. The metallic of the buckle, and then the dull gray of the belt. Even every little pouch is painted on with the little button. The straps here, same deal. You got the dull gray for the straps, and the buckles are metallic. I guess the rest of them is just plain white, but that's accurate, man. That's the design. That's what makes a character like this appealing, is the simplicity. Only thing I'll say is that I think I prefer the silhouette on the original Anti-Venom Marvel Legends. Specifically, the chest needs to be wider, man. Not to say Agent Venom is depicted as burly as Eddie Brock Venom is sometimes, but generally speaking, you know, superhero have that V shape. I mean, the shoulder pads help a little bit, but his waist and his shoulders are basically at the same. And if you look at those original Marvel Legends, dated in articulation they may be, they do have that V shape a little better. And this is a character you'd want to be somewhat acrobatic, right? Because he's a secret agent, he's always in cool gun-toting poses. And I guess this works. It seems like it poses like a standard 2025 Marvel Legends. Nothing in terms of like a drop-down hip, no hinge at the neck. Shoulders aren't really limited, but otherwise everything pretty standard on this guy. And for comparison, here he is with Eddie Brock Venom. This is a recent figure. I think this is the Walmart version. And then Renew Your Vows Spider-Man right here. But if you prefer, you can also bring in Maximum Spider-Man, about the same size. Mine's getting a little loose. And he does sit right in the middle of them, so it does work, but I wish he was a bit broader. And in my brief research of who to pair Agent Anti-Venom with, he did fight the Jack-o'-lantern once, but even that I think should be the more modern-looking one that came out in like 2015. But either way, here you go. And I said that was my only Marvel Legends Agent Venom, but I just so happen to have this bootleg CT style Revoltech anti-venom. I never even really took this out. I probably opened it once, but we're finally getting some utility out of it. Oh, a lot of pieces, man. Oh, we got things falling. Quickly, we'll get them out. And here we go with the Revoltech bootleg CT anti-Agent Venom. And it actually is pretty close in scale. And this being a CT Toys, I think it's a little smaller than an official Yamaguchi figure. That works. All right, and the time has come. We're going to rip a Magic the Gathering Play Booster. First time ever card pack opening on this channel. And there's no going back now. There we go. The little Spidey Play Booster. Okay, well, I don't want to see the card, but it looks like each side is showing a card. Okay, we're going to go like this. So up first, we have
the Sinister Hideout.
This is a land card. Then we have Spectacular Tactics, and this might be our foil hit of the set. We might have popped the cherry early. The Lizard, we got Miles Morales in there, and we got Jessica Drew, the classic version. Up next, Spider-Man 2099. That looks like a neat card. Legendary, it's got gold on it. Up next, Prison Break, featuring the Rhino and Electro behind him. Up next, Vulture, the Scheming Scavenger. Up next, I just bent that. Flash Thompson, Spider-Fan, there we go. Up next, Scout the City, a sorcery card again. Okay, still feels like we got a lot of cards here. Up next is the Pumpkin Bombardment. This says Norman Osborn on the bottom. Up next, Spectacular Tactics again. Hate to see a double. And again, Romantic Rendezvous, a sorcery card with some nice artwork here. The classic Upside Down Peter and Mary Jane kiss. Mary Jane's even got her dogs out. Okay, up next is the Unstable Experiment from Norman Osborn. Next we got Selfless Police Captain George Stacy. Then we got the Common Crook, a human rogue villain. That's kind of boring for a card. Finally, we have Spider-Rex, the Daring Dino. And we have the token creature, Spider. Oh, well, the Spectacular Tactics wasn't a foil, the other one. So we have, this is our foil hit of the pack, and Spider-Man 2099 is looking cool as well. So I guess those are our best hits. You guys can let me know. And with that, our main event of the evening is Peter Parker, Spider-Man. The Spectacular Spider-Man, as he's called on his trading card. Plastic sleeve. It's taped in very securely. And here's the Spectacular Spider-Man. Legendary creature, Spider-Human hero. And his ability seems to be called Flash, ironically. And he's got 1 star as opposed to the anti-venom's 5 stars. I don't know what all these numbers mean. I think maybe all Magic cards should be foil, though. I think they look a lot better this way. But I'll add that to my newly gained pile, and we're going to take a look at Spidey. And for his accessories, we got a pair of fists, a pair of thwip hands, and a pair of wall-crawling open hands. That's what you need with every Spidey. And I'm not talking deluxe releases like this, but every normal Marvel Legends should have these. For his heads, the one on the figure is mostly fully masked, but a bit of his hair is poking out. He's been scratched open on the top. And then we do have the alternate Peter Parker face, which is definitely a face we've seen before, but I think it has been modified. He's also got a web shield, which is somewhat unique. I don't know if we've gotten this before. And then this web we've seen a million times, and I don't throw out things I get with action figures. But if I ever did, it would probably be these things. Now, this is cool, right? This Magic the Gathering crossover. This guy's the headliner. His name's on the box. But they gave us sort of a variation, this battle damage look. They could have easily just given us yet another basic Spider-Man, and a lot of us were still going to buy it. But I think this gives you even more incentive as a Legends collector, right? Because it's a unique Spider-Man now. It's the battle damage look. And Spider-Man, Peter, getting his ass beat is a huge part of Spider-Man. That's like his favorite thing to do. And we have such a great cast of villains. And now for future posing, figure photography, stop motion, whatever it is, we have a Spider-Man to get his ass beat officially. Scraped up, ripped off suit, exposed skin, hair. When we get up to the head here, it's a very classic style. It's an older school looking Spider-Man, still a younger version with the smaller, squintier eyes. Now he's got the hair coming out, this tuft over here, and then even a bit of the mask ripped up on the bottom. But I know what I'm thinking, and I'm sure a lot of other people thought this. I wish it was that half face. Now obviously that's more iconic, I think, nowadays in the movie, but I'm sure it must have happened in the books as well. And also, I don't know if this particular battle damage is even based on anything, but if I think of battle damage Spider-Man, that's the first image, is Spider-Man Tobey Maguire with that half face, perfectly representing the duality of Peter and Spider-Man. In this case, it's a mostly masked face or a completely unmasked face. So a bit of a disappointment, there's no in-between. Everything else here is renew your vows, I think. That being said, most of it, I think, is actually retooled in some way. Because while these details look a little flat, the sculpt is actually there. I don't know if that's just for the painters to have a better idea where to put it, but these gashes are exposed. And what they did also, in effect, was sort of wrinkle the suit up. Because if you had this tight material on his legs, for instance, it's form-fitting, it's skin-tight, almost vacuum sealed. But then if you sliced that, you know, it would retract, it would bunch up, and that's what they did here, even like with the upper thigh. On his right side, nearly the whole sleeve has been ripped off, only really leaving a gauntlet and a hand left, even that with some scratches on it. And again, even the bare arm, these scratches are somewhat sculpted in. So a lot of hidden detail, a lot of stuff you might not even pick up on unless he's in your hand. And as for articulation, he's going to pose like a Renew Your Vows Spider-Man, like I said, built on that same framework, that same base sculpt, and it's a decent moving Spider-Man. You know, this hinge at the bottom is nice, and then you get the side to side at the top. If there was only a way to also have a waist swivel, because I think a waist swivel does, you do need that in some poses, but you know, for certain Spidey level poses, you can definitely get away with not having it at the expense of that ab crunch. And here we go. Here's battle damage Spidey with the two most modern, revered Marvel Legends Spideys out there. Renew Your Vows, who again this figure is based on, and then the Maximum McFarlane style Spider-Man. And maybe a battle damage Maximum is something where we could see that half face. But this is battle damage Spidey. He's here to get his ass beat, so you gotta have some villains. Here he is with the retro-carded Green Goblin who just got reissued. And again, that Walmart Venom. Again, I think about battle damage Spidey. I think about this guy, the GOAT, Green Goblin fighting Tobey. And then here he is with the Kingpin, who I think will look awesome in a fight with this guy. And this is my favorite Doc Ock, the animated series version. And that's going to do it for Magic the Gathering Spider-Man Marvel Legends. It's a way to get two sort of essentials in the Spider-Man collection under the guise of this crossover. Battle damage Spidey is like, I didn't know I needed it until I saw it. Spider-Man getting his ass beat is like peanut butter and jelly. They just go together. And Agent Anti-Venom, we just had the retooled Anti-Venom, so of course we're going to get the anti-version. Why not give it this Magic the Gathering treatment? So I'm satisfied with my purchase, especially because I got these guys for like 30% off or something. It was like 2 different Target coupons at once. You can check out all my figure photography, like the ones at the end of this video, on Instagram, Scoopman_5000, and I'll see you guys in the next video.